This question here is a little bit different style than the ones we've been doing. All the questions we've done so far in the last few videos, we're using the prime notation for the derivative. But here we use the other notation, the dy dx notation. And we have to be used to that. The chain rule can be expressed using that notation as follows. It's dy dx equals dy du times du dx. And this formula is appropriate here because y is a function of u, and that will allow us to find dy du. And u is a function of x, that'll allow us to find du dx. So let's see how that goes. Let's start off with dy du. We'll do the du dx later. To find dy du, we're going to use quotient rule. So let's set that up. The derivative of the top is 2u times the bottom left alone minus the top left alone times the derivative of the bottom. And then we have the square of the bottom. Okay, that completes the quotient rule. That's what dy du is. Now we have to multiply by du dx. Well, let's do that over here. Before we do that though, let's just quickly get rid of this root symbol and replace it with a fractional exponent. So we know that a cube root is really the same as power of 1/3, right? So let's take this derivative. The 1/3 comes to the front. We're doing du dx now. The 1/3 comes to the front. X squared plus 2 is ignored. And then we have 1/3 minus 1, which is minus 2/3. And then we multiply by the derivative of x squared plus 2. What is the derivative of x squared plus 2? It's 2x. And over here we have x squared plus 2 just sitting there. And we close our brackets. That completes du dx. So our derivative is complete. It's a little bit messy. Why don't we simplify it? In this first factor, we can multiply this across. 2u times u squared is 2u cubed plus 2u. And we multiply this across, minus 2u cubed. And minus is plus, so we have plus 2u. And then u squared plus 1 squared. How about over here? Well, why don't we make this, why don't we bring this to the bottom? Because it's a negative exponent, so we'll clean that up by bringing it to the bottom. It'll become a positive 2/3 then. And the 2x is sitting right there. Notice these cancel. So we can make that little change. And so this is 4u. 4u multiplied by 2x is 8xu. And the bottom is 3. Why don't we write that at the start? We have our u squared plus 1 squared there. And then we have our x squared plus 2 to the power of 2/3 there. Now we're done. I'm going to leave it like that. You could change this to have the formula be only an x, right? If you notice right now we have x and u mixed in together. If we could replace all occurrences of u by here, cube root of x squared plus 2. It would kind of make it look messy, but if we did that, everything would be in terms of x. And sometimes you want to do that, and sometimes you don't. For this one, I think it's perfectly fine that we just leave it like this. But just be aware that if you really wanted to, you could make this formula appear completely in terms of x.